Today we're going to turn this into this. We're making bacon. This process takes about 2 weeks, but it's only about half an hour of actual hands-on time. So we're using the equilibrium method for this, and that just means that we're weighing out a specific amount of salt that means that it'll fully cure but never become too salty even if you left this in your fridge for a bit too long in the cure. Whereas with traditional methods, if you left it in the cure for too long, the bacon would get more and more salty as time goes by. Anyway, once you've mixed your two salts together, you're just going to sprinkle it all over the meat, rub in lightly, and just make sure you get all those sides too. Now throw into a food safe bag, or you could also backpack, making sure you get all the last bits of salt in there. Then just throw in your fridge for a week, and turn every couple of days. Again, we're using the equilibrium method, so if you forget about it for 12 days, it'll still be fine. Anyway, once you do remember to take it out of the fridge, you'll notice that the pink colour has changed to a much deeper pink now, and we should start to have something that actually looks like bacon. So the next thing to do is just rinse this in cold water until you've washed off all the cure, and then dry well. Now this part's optional, but if you like rindless bacon, then you want to take this part off now. And to do this, we're just going to lift the skin slightly and then use the tip of the knife and just keep going, making small shallow cuts. And this is now ready to eat if you like cured bacon. You can also do other cures, like put some maple in it, or you can put other spices in it, but we've just left it simple today, and we're going to move on to smoking it. So the first step for smoking is to just let it dry out a little bit in the fridge. So I'm just placing mine over these skewers, but you could use chopsticks or a rack, and just put it in the fridge for a couple of days uncovered. Now after a couple of days it should have developed this slightly sticky tacky layer. This is called a pellicule, and this will just help the smoke stick to it a bit better. Now we're going to weigh our cured bacon before we put it into the smoker. We're aiming to lose about 10% of its total weight during smoking. This will intensify the flavour and should take about 6 hours. In she goes. Now I'm using a combi oven to do this, however if you have a barbecue or a smoker at home you can of course do it in that instead. Now you can see the setup I have here is just the bacon on a rack over a tray to stop dripping. I've got some ice in there too to keep the temperature down, and then the box at the bottom is where the smoke's being produced. You want to keep this under 21 degrees centigrade to keep it safe, otherwise it might spoil. After 6 hours you should see that your bacon looks slightly dry and also now has a yellow tint to it. So next up we'll give it another weigh to check if we've lost the weight we wanted to, which we have here, just about. Once your bacon's finished smoking, you're just going to wrap it tightly and put it back in the fridge for another couple of days. This will just let the smoke flavour even out. After a couple of days it's ready to cook. So we're just going to trim off the edges. They will be a little smokier than the rest, so you might want to use them for lardons. And then you can just slice this to your desired thickness, and it's ready for a frying pan. So always start with a cold pan, put your bacon in, turn on the temperature, and fry until you're happy. Look at that bacon. I'm off to go and eat. See you next week.